Hello, and thank you for tuning in to drillingcontractor.org. I'm Joanne Liu, and joining me today is Joe White, Senior Consultant of DuPont Sustainable Solutions. Joe, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
During the recent HSE and training conference here in Houston, you mentioned that it's not more effective safety management, but more effective leadership that will take industry beyond its plateau performance. Why is that?
Well, that's actually a question that's plagued and frustrated industry for quite some time. To answer that, you really have to first look at why safety performance plateaus. And if you historically look at the tools we've had, we've used them for some time, actually decades. They're very much management oriented, very much management focused, and the reason why performance plateaus is that we continue to go back to those same tools and we're expecting different outcomes. So the leadership tools are more around influential, they're more around intrinsic motivation, and that's what it's going to take to move us forward.
And you also noted that injuries are primarily the result of actions, and these are not conditions, yet these are made subconsciously. What can companies and safety managers do to prevent such injuries?
The notion of subconscious, the subconscious mind driving our behaviors is actually profound. We know through cognitive science that the majority of our actions and behaviors are driven from the subconscious mind, which is relatively new. And from a safety standpoint, it's profound. If you consider, for example, that what we've done historically is our communications and safety have historically been very logic and rationally based. That's not the language that the subconscious mind speaks. The subconscious mind is experientially based, and the subconscious mind reacts to feelings and emotions. The industry that's probably had the most success in being able to reach the subconscious mind is the commercial airline industry. In the early 90s, they brought in the flight simulators, and flight simulators for the first time were able to provide experiential learning in a controlled and safe environment. Since that point in time, they've been able to reduce the commercial airline crashes due to pilot error by 71%. So that's a profound improvement, and again, it very much supports the learnings that we've had from cognitive sciences.
Also, during your presentation, you mentioned two approaches, extrinsic and intrinsic. What's the difference between the two?
Extrinsic-based motivation is deeply rooted in a form of psychology called behaviorism, and it's hence the root of behavioral-based safety. At its purest form, it's you set clear expectations, you observe, and you provide feedback. That feedback loop can be positive or negative. That's a compliance-oriented culture. For us to move forward and really be able to sustain the next level of growth that we believe is possible, we have to be able to get the individual to do things because they want to, not because they feel they have to. And the way we get at that is through intrinsic motivation. In other words, it's the difference between what someone would do at 2 p.m. when they know they're being observed and what they do at 2 a.m. When they know that no one's there, no one's around.
Interesting. Well, Joe, thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.